On this week's episode of Regular Guys Podcast, with a quarter of the season already gone, let's look at who we feel are contenders and pretenders so far during this season. As always, make sure you like and subscribe. Now on to the show.
Regular Guys Podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your weekly dose of Regular Guys Podcasts. Obviously, you know who I am, Maddie. He's Sean. Your regulars, again, back for another week. Hey, make sure you like, subscribe. The road to 100 subscribers still lives on, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new, welcome to the show. We're glad you are able to join us on this lovely Wednesday. Sean, we have just a little bit of a quarter of the season done. Sad to say, it comes. We wait so long for it.
Flies by.
And it flies by, man. But with that being said, it's only right that we look into some contenders and pretenders so far this season. So let the people know, to start off, who you feel are your contenders to start off heading into week 6.
I'm going to start off with the 49ers. I think since Jimmy Garoppolo came back, off the injury of Lance, I think Garoppolo's that type of quarterback. You're going to get 250 yards, 2 touchdowns a game, and not a lot of mistakes. And they have one of the best defenses in football right now, too. I think they've only allowed not one double digit, but in the 20s one time. Someone scored, I think, 26 or 27 on them one time, but everything else has been 10, 14 points. Their defense is awesome. I know Bosa got a little banged up, but he's been on a roll, 6 sacks, and he barely played this past weekend because of injuries. Hopefully it's nothing major. But the 49ers and how that division's looking right now, I think they're going to run away with the division, and I think Jimmy.
I would agree.
I'm saying Trey, he might be good down the line, but right now with this team, I think Jimmy's the way to go because you know what you're going to get out of him week in with that week out. Trey might have a higher level, but he can also have a couple stinkers real bad too, 2-3 interceptions. And the thing about the 49ers is they rely on not turning the ball over, have a solid run game and a solid defense. I just think they're a very scary team in the NFC, especially with how the NFC is looking right now. We don't have anybody in the NFC that's really anybody's too afraid of right now. They could be that team. I say right now, as we speak, they're a top 3 team in the NFC right now.
Yeah, I honestly really like that pick, and I say that because of the simple fact a lot of people I feel think of and watch the Niners, and they're not flashy. They're not the Patrick Mahomes-led Chiefs or the Josh Allen-led Bills. The 49ers play playoff football all year long.
They do.
It's not pretty. And that's perfectly okay for them because it works. If it's not broken, don't fix it. And I understand, myself included, probably was, ready to see Trey Lance because although we understand that this team is very physical, great running game, to see them have not even a whole lot, but just a little bit of a glimpse of a happy pass attack would have made them above elite. And I think that's what we kind of fell in love, fell in love with and wanted it to be with Trey.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't, but sadly, he's hurt. But
it still can be. It still can be. Yeah. But I think with this team right now, it's better to have a veteran quarterback that you know what you're going to get out of them. You don't want your defense out there and it's just like your quarterback turn the ball over 3 or 4 times in a game. So it's just what you're getting from Jimmy.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. It's they are hurt.
They are getting
They
banged
lost
up.
the
They are getting
corner.
banged up.
Yeah,
Yep. And
they
lost a
lost the
running back again,
corner.
too. Another running back, right?
Yep, lost another running back.
And
You mentioned
injuries.
Bosa. I
Yeah.
mean, we'll get into injuries later on down the show, but injuries seem to play a big part for San Fran every year.
They
If
do.
it's not
They
the
do.
running back position, it's the whole team. But it always seems to work out for them to the simple fact they come back at the right time healthy.
Yes.
So we'll see as we
And
look now.
that division right now, I mean, it's theirs for the
Yeah,
taking right
division.
now. Their division,
The
it's there for
Rams
the taking
are
right
trying to
now. So
figure out.
yeah, the
Yeah, Rams are
Rams.
trying to figure out who they are, and
Yeah.
the Cardinals, head coach might be gone, so we'll see. I mean, as the
Kyler
schedule
Murray. If
looks,
y'all saw what Kyler Murray was wearing before the game, you knew they were going to take that L. Oh, it's Google the picture, guys. It was
and they still had a
horrendous.
chance. Yeah, it was
They should have won.
crazy.
Well, they should have tied it, but it was so bad that they deserve. His outfit was so bad they deserved to lose. 100% honest on that one. It was
Yeah,
pretty
so we'll
bad. You seen
see.
it,
I
right?
mean,
That was bad.
I saw it. We'll see what happens with them. They have upcoming this week the Falcons,
Yeah,
so that should be a win. Although the Falcons are a
yeah,
different team,
they're looking
still
good, man.
kind of lower bottom tier, but
Surprising a lot of
they're not your
people.
average Falcons. Yeah, they're not your average Falcons. So we'll see. Obviously Chiefs, Rams,
They got a tough
Chargers.
up and down
So
schedule
it's a
here, but
tough. Yeah,
yeah,
we'll
but
see
they
what
have some
happens.
winnable games too. I agree with you. I agree with that. Yeah, the injuries is the only concern right there.
Yeah. As far as my contender,
Yeah,
I'm
who do
gonna
you
stay in the
got?
NFC. I'm gonna stay in the NFC also,
All right.
and I want to go with the Eagles.
Yeah,
Now, I chose them to win a division. I
you
did
did.
not think they would look this good.
Yeah,
And I'm still shocked as to how good they look. So we play a little weekly pick 'em. Me and my friends do where we pick the games for each week to see which ones we pick from. I
I'm not the friend,
was
guys. I'm not in the friend zone. So
I was for sure. I wouldn't say for sure, but I said, okay, if there's going to be a loss, at some point the Eagles would have to lose. I could see it happening in Arizona. And at first I was like, okay, this is not going to happen. They kind of jumped out to a 14-zip lead.
yeah,
But here come the Cardinals. If Amendola makes the kick,
yeah.
who knows?
Kickers.
We're probably going to OT, but we'll see. I mean, there's a reason that
Yeah.
Amendola didn't stay with the Chiefs. He's played on two teams this year, and he's not been the best. But let's just quick rundown. Running game, Eagles got it. And it's not just Sanders. Obviously, Jalen Hurts can burn you running the ball. Passing the ball, they have it. I mean, they have really good weapons. AJ
Great
Brown,
weapons. Great
Smitty.
weapons.
Yeah, Dallas
Smith.
Goddard, is there
Yes.
also. And
Goddard. Yeah, Smith. I mean, yeah, they got the weapons for sure.
they have, and they look the part. It's however
do.
you want us to beat you, we can beat you. You want us to run the ball, you want us to pass the ball, you want our defense to just come out and put you on Front Street. Insert Vikings on Monday night, although that pains me to say, but it's true. They can do so.
Yeah.
It's scary, and
yes.
we'll see. I mean, anything can happen. I didn't think they would look this good.
I agree with that.
They've definitely. I felt like they could get to this point, but it would be as like December started to get here.
Gotcha.
So we'll see. Can you obtain this same level of play as the season goes on? I feel like that's the bigger name of the game for them. But yeah, man, we'll see. What are your thoughts on that, Sean?
Yeah, a few weeks ago, when I was on the pod, I said they might win 14, 15 games, and I still believe that. I think they might. I'll say 14-3, but they are looking strong. Now, the last 2 weeks, they look beatable. They haven't been, the Jags. I think the Jags, they were within one score of them, and then
the Jags gave them a shock.
Yeah, and then the Cards yesterday could have tied it up and took it to overtime. Poor coaching and quarterback IQ on that by Murray and the coach. But yeah, the Eagles, to me are the number one team in the NFC right now. And I agree with you. I just in the strength of schedule, I mean, they have
Covering them.
a
It's
great
really just to kind of mention what you're
schedule.
talking about.
Yeah, run it down.
So they play the Cowboys. They play the Cowboys at home. Now, I personally do think. Now, Matt, you said this against you chose the Cardinals. I do think the Cowboys can get a win this week. I do think it would be a salty
Philly.
I know it's in Philly. I don't know. I just there's a little bit of glimpse of hope. But the next game, Steelers.
Yep, win.
The next game,
Texans win.
The next game, Commanders
win.
The next game after that, Colts.
That's the greatest show on turf. Colts,
they could literally win the next 6.
Yeah.
And then after the Indy, they play the Packers.
And that's a win. I mean, Packers aren't looking.
It's a winnable game. So it's like, and then after that, it's the Titans, it's the Giants, it's the Bears. Wow.
Maybe I'll go 15 wins. I think a lot of it relies. I think a lot of it's going to rely on at the end of the day, Hurts. Now he's been throwing the ball solid. He's been awesome at running the ball as well. Now he does. I think he has only 4 touchdown passes the whole year. So I feel like
it's going to come down to that.
During the regular season, I think he's going to be awesome. Now, when I think of Contenders Super Bowl, I still think they're as today they're the best in the NFC.
Like they're the best overall.
But I can see once you go start playing the best teams in the playoffs, when teams get pressure on you, then we'll see. I mean, I think not just saying this, but I think next week will actually be a good test on pressure because they got a great offensive line. Dallas has a good defensive line. I think coming up Sunday will be a good test, even though I do think Philly's going to win that game. But I think a lot of you're going to see how he plays in that game with getting pressured because he should get somewhat pressure in that game. So it'll be interesting to see that. But I agree with you 100% on that one.
What about who else you have as a
man? All right. So this one, it's not looking too great from this season, but I still have them as a contender. I actually thought they were gonna struggle at the beginning of the year, and then they had injuries after injury after injury, but they're starting to get a little bit back healthy. But I got the Buccaneers still being a contender. Now the Falcons gave them ran for the money. Bucs controlled that whole game until the fourth quarter. I think the defense took their foot off the gas a little bit on that. And then Falcons got momentum and that bad call on Brady. I'm a Brady lover. I always support Brady. Brady's numero uno for me, but that was a terrible call. That could have changed the game up a lot right there. But everybody arguing with that call, no one wants to mention the call before where there was a pass interference where the Bucs would have been on the 10-yard line. But no one wants to mention that part. They want to mention the roughing the passer. But I agree with, that was a terrible call. But I still think the Bucs, I think the next couple weeks, being that they're playing easier teams, I think next week they got the Steelers. And then the following week, they got the Panthers. I think the Bucs' biggest issue right now, 2 issues right now, is not finishing drives. Because Brady threw for 350 yards. Only 1 touchdown pass. They're not finishing the drives. And then secondly, I think the run game has slowed down after week 1. Fournette looked great week 1 against the Cowboys, but he hasn't been that. And they're starting to play White a little more, who I actually like. He's more Brady's type of running back too, because he likes to throw to him and all that. So those are the 2 issues I have, is them not finishing drives in the run game. But I think the defense is still a top 5 defense, even though they had that disastrous game against Kansas City. I mean, every NFL, unless you're an all-time great defense like the 2000 Bucs or the Ravens in the early 2000s, they didn't have it. I don't think there's any dominant defenses like that in the NFL, but I think the Bucs still are a contender. I thought they were going to start off slow. Brady has a lot of stuff going on at home. But I do see their offense picking up. And I do see, like I said, with the Eagles, the NFC, there's not a lot of strong teams. So, I could easily see Bucs getting on a run at the end of the year. And being the best team in the NFC still.
Yeah, as for me, I'm not quite, so I'm in the middle. I'm not ready to say they are a contender, but I'm not going to say they're a pretender yet.
Gotcha.
I was there with you. I felt like they were dealing with the injury bug. They needed to, get some guys back that, once they started to do so, that the offense would look better, because I think we can all
Yeah.
agree that the defense is going to be the defense, especially with
Yes.
Todd Bowles being the head coach. It's going to be there. There's no question about that. It's the offense that you have a little bit of a worry with. But I've thought that once they started to get guys healthy, which they are, starting to get healthy, but they just need to get their footing under them and get that chemistry going once again. It was just a tad bit worrisome to know that they squeaked by against the Falcons.
Yep. I agree.
Just a little bit, but the next two games I feel will tell us a lot. So the next two games is against the Steelers, a game you should win. It's Kenny Pickett. Steelers don't look that great. And it's against the Panthers.
They don't even have a coach.
Who I believe is, they don't even have a coach. I believe Baker's going to be missing a couple weeks, so it's going to be, Sam Darnold. If you are struggling against these teams, I'll say mainly the Panthers, there's a problem there.
I think the offense has to show some next 2 weeks. They got to be. I think they will too. I honestly do. Like I said, Godwin just got back. I mean, he
just got back and he looked pretty good.
Yeah, he did look pretty good.
So we'll see. I do agree with you though. The running game is worrisome.
Yeah.
Because of the simple fact, I feel Brady needs a running game for the game to go and run smoothly, for the offense to run smoothly.
Yeah.
Especially at 45. Yeah, we know he can throw it, but he doesn't always want to, throw the ball 40-something times. To be able to hand it off to Lenny, to White, and them guys go for at least 100, 120 yards for the game combined. That's, keeping the defense on their toes. So we'll see.
What's crazy though is Brady's still in the top 3 of total pass yards in football right now, which is kind of hard to believe because the first couple of weeks with all the injuries, you didn't. Brady was throwing 200 yards, but now you can start seeing. Like I said, I think the biggest thing is finishing drives. They're just not finishing drives right now.
Yes, and so we'll see. Like I said, I can't put them at the pretenders yet. I can't put them as a contender yet either. I need to see more of them start to gel.
Understandable.
That's where I'm gonna stay there.
Can't argue with it.
But a contender I'm going to say the Chargers. I say the Chargers for one reason, or for a couple reasons, not just one. The outside of that Chiefs game, which really could have gone anyway. It favored the Chargers to win.
Yeah.
Their play style still is good. Austin Eckler is starting to pick it up within the last couple weeks.
Yes, he has.
Had another good game.
Lit it up on my fantasy.
Another good game this week for you fantasy owners. It's a little worrisome because of the defense.
The defense
is allowing teams to gash them on the running game.
They really are.
So that's the only part that I say is a little worrisome, but I'm gonna stick there because of the simple fact I feel like they have what it takes to beat the Chiefs. At some point, Keenan Allen will come back from his, hamstring injury.
That would be huge. They need him back ASAP.
Yeah, it'd be a really good boost to their offense. Although Mike Williams has been pretty good for them still. So we'll see. I'm gonna stick with the Chargers. I like the Chargers.
Man,
Justin Herbert is starting to look a lot healthier as the weeks go on. Some might have said he honestly should not have played against the Jags.
I agree with that.
Realistically, he probably shouldn't have played. He probably should have. Chase Daniels, because to be real, what he did, Chase could have did too.
Yeah, it was like 38-10 against the Jags. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. So he should have just took a week off and gone from there. But I do like them. And as we look at the schedule, the next 3 games,
they have a favorable schedule.
favorable schedule. Monday night against the Broncos. We all know the
Oh
Broncos don't
my
look that
goodness,
great. I mean, they
dude.
lost to the Colts for crying out loud, thanks to the guy right behind me, Mr. Gilmore.
Yeah, I got the pick at the end.
Seahawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seahawks. You know, great
Yeah.
offensive team. The Seahawks are defensively, they're not the best.
Shockingly good on offense, man. Geno Smith looks better at Russ. A lot better, actually.
If Geno played like this years ago when he was on the Jets, he'd probably still be there.
Geno's looking
It's
awesome, man. I'm impressed with him. I
it's
really am.
it's a shocker. It's a real shocker. And then after that, they have the Falcons. So three of these three next games are very winnable for them. And obviously they'll rematch again with the Chiefs at their home on November the 20th. Obviously, they want to try and split their.
Yeah, I think that's a must-win game there. I mean, they got 49ers, which is going to be in San Fran, so that's going to be a tough one. But I think that must-win game is Chiefs. They got to at least split that one, and it's at home. Now, my only feedback on that, my feedback on that is coaching. I said at the beginning of the year, coaching is big.
Everybody's saying it.
I think it's everybody's saying it. I think it's very like. Now, can I say the Chargers will have a really good record and make the playoffs? I still think they will. But as a contender, do I see them contended for a Super Bowl as of right now? I don't. I thought that defense was going to be – they started off really good, looking good. But like you said, they're getting slashed up on defense. I mean, I guess I'm going back and forth on this one. I still say the Chiefs are going to win that division.
Well, as of now, I'm gonna lean there.
I just think the defense is they have so much talent on the defense side of the ball, but right now they're just getting. I mean, the Browns should have beat them. Browns should have beat them this past week. Texas gave them a run for their money, and they got spanked a couple weeks ago by the Jags. And I understand Herbert was banged up, so you get a pass on that one. I just think
I think they go as Herbert goes.
Yeah.
If Herbert is healthy, we all know what he's capable of. We all see what he can do. So we saw it. Jags game again, shouldn't have played at all. Texans game, he was a little bit healthier than he was against the Jags, so they looked a little bit better.
Yes.
This week, I feel like they looked a little bit better. It was just the defense, getting gashed by Chubb and Hunt. So we'll see. And again, Monday night, this upcoming week 6. I'm gonna stay there, but I do agree with you, and that's why they're like my last little bit of a contender. Somebody that I would say is like an honorable mention. I'm gonna say Miami, and I say Miami. Miami could easily have replaced the Chargers for me.
Yes,
but I say they're honorable mention because of the simple fact they're just banged up. It's as simple as that. It's not because we're waiting for this piece to work out or for something on the defense to click. They're literally just banged up.
Yes, they are.
Byron Jones is not back yet, still dealing with the Achilles from last year. Xavier Howard didn't play this week. They lost another quarterback. Tua, Teddy hurt. Hill, Waddle both had injuries that were questionable leading up into the week. So it's just injuries. I have no doubt they can play. Once the corners get back, the defense will look 3 times better because of the simple fact they play that man and they play it well. And once, Tua gets back and Hill and Waddle are both 100% again, or not even 100%, close to 100%, the offense will look like it did to start the season. So I
hope Tua comes back, man. Tua, that team was looking awesome with Tua. And like when he got hurt against Cincinnati, I think they would have won that game. If he stayed healthy that game, I think they would probably beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati struggled the rest of that game. Teddy Bridgewater almost got him over the hump on that one. But I think Tua needs to get back. Tua really needs to get back, or can get real ugly real fast for them as well too.
But where there are contenders, we have pretenders.
Yes.
Staying in the AFC.
All right, let's hear this.
My pretender is going to be the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
This has nothing to do with Mr. Lamar Jackson. pay that man, by the way.
Yeah.
I just feel like you're in the same boat offensively that where you were last year and where you were the year before that. Like, I just feel like the Ravens organization just does not learn. We all know what's going to happen. Mark Andrews is wide receiver 1, 2, 3, tight end 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, he does everything there.
Yes, Bateman, we want him to be good, and he's shown a little bit of flashes. I think he's a little banged up now.
He's a little banged up right now,
but I don't know, man. It's not on Lamar.
So
I don't think it's on Lamar.
So you're saying you still have Cincinnati probably winning that division? Or are you just saying you don't think they're a Super Bowl contender? Because I still think I think Baltimore's winning the division personally because it's straight the schedule and Cincinnati's O-line. Yesterday was
I think they win the division. Yeah, I'll say they win the division, but I think it's just like all right, yeah, we won, but hey, first round exit.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that as well. So yeah, going that route, I agree with you. I think Lamar has been struggling the last couple of weeks too. I think people jumped on the Lamar hype train. I like Lamar a lot, but I don't trust him when it starts getting tough. He's forced to throw the ball down the field. I think there's still a little inaccuracy issues, but he is pretty much got that team on his back. It's either he
literally
goes off,
and that's why I say I can't.
If he goes off,
blame.
They're gonna win, but if they, he's pretty much got that whole team on their back. So, but I agree with you. I think they're a pretender. I do think they win that division. It's unfortunate you see some of these teams that had such high hopes, like Cincinnati, and they're just
It's a tough next 4 games. I mean, they have the Giants. I remember when we used to say, "Oh, it's the Giants that should be a win." I have to give a little bit of respect to the Giants. I mean, they did beat the Packers in London. A new head coach has got them.
But we can say that's a winnable game.
It is a winnable game. I would say
Browns,
the next 2 are winnable. Browns is winnable.
Bucs.
I think it'll be hard because
it's on a Thursday night game. The Bucs won. Yeah, the Bucs one's on a Thursday night game, so that's a short week. I mean, that could be
Saints. I like the return of Dalton. Dalton, I feel, is looking a little bit better than Winston.
How long is Winston out for?
I'm not sure, but if I'm you, unless Dalton shows you otherwise, I feel like you might need to keep him in. But we'll see. I say these next 4 games for the Ravens are literally
we'll be telling. Flips. Yeah. But like you said, even if they do win these games, even if they do win these games, I agree with you when it comes to playoff time and they go against the Chargers, the Chiefs, they're not gonna get out the first. If they get out the first, definitely not the second. So I agree. They're definitely pretenders in my eyes as well. I'm gonna go.
Who do you have?
I got a team here, and I'm not gonna bash on this team because they probably got the coach of the year right now. And I am a hater on this team, but I'm not gonna bash. I've been very impressed with this team. They're a 4-1 record, the Giants. So they're 4-1. So people, getting excited for this. The Giants 4-1. No one expected that all year. They beat the Packers this past weekend. Some, like myself, think that's, I think the Packers are still a team to watch out for. I know you and Jacob don't, but for me, I still think they got a really good defense, an amazing running game. Now the passing game with the receivers, that's their biggest flaw, but I think that was a huge win by them. I watched that whole game, and I was really impressed with Daniel Jones. He's been sacked 15 times this year, but when you give him a little bit of time, he was throwing some dimes, and he can run the ball really well. So I think the Giants are going to be this offseason. I feel like a lot of people thought Jones is done after this year, but now I think people are going to start questioning, if we get an O-line in front of him, is he the guy that can, keep us on this track? I'm impressed with them a lot. I don't think they got a really good defense. They got Barkley, who's I think he's the second in rushing right now, and he's just looking awesome. When he went down against Green Bay,
looking vintage. Yeah, he's
yes,
looking
he
vintage
is.
Barkley.
I thought when he got hurt and left, I was like, man, it's going to be something major. But he came back in, was beasting it up. I mean, he's looking awesome. But if they can get that O-line, a little bit better.
Actually, it's improved from what they've had.
Daniel Jones, I think you put any quarterback down there, unless it's a quarterback that knows how to get that ball out right away, that quarterback's going to get demolished. So I think they're going to be, this offseason is going to be very interesting. I think the Giants can get 10 wins this year. If you look at their schedule, 10 wins is not hard to see. So, but
you got the Ravens.
I know I'm saying all this great stuff, like I said, they're contenders, but I still think they're pretenders. It's exciting for the Giants fan, New York fans. I mean, they got the Yankees, they got the Giants, they got the Jets playing well. But yeah, I think the Giants are pretenders, but you got to be very happy. And they got the coach of the year right now. He changed that whole organization, that whole attitude. Awesome defense. I got to give them, big ups for the Giants right now. They're looking good. They did get beat by the great Dallas team, but we don't need to talk about that one. But they're looking good.
I definitely agree with you there on them being pretenders. But honestly, if you ask, well, I don't really know, honestly. Depending on who you ask, that's a Giants fan. To be labeled as a pretender when many didn't think you would win the division, or even be this good, I think they would take this because
in a heartbeat.
Fact, you're at least talking about them in the light of winning.
Yes.
I didn't think they would be this good to start off.
No.
I thought as the season went on, new head coach would really start to see the changing of the culture change, but it's already changed. And we're seeing that. I think Danny has shown, I'm serviceable. I can do this.
Yeah,
I just need a coach. I need a coach who believes in me. I just need a good offensive system. I mean, since he came into the league, he's had 2-3 new head coaches, same with the offensive coordinators, to have some sort of stability there. We'll see. It kind of gives me a little bit of a Tua. Just give me somebody who believes in me. And we see what Tua can do, and we see what Danny can do.
Yeah.
If Danny can sustain this play throughout the season, and let's say they somehow still maybe don't win a lot, but they
get 10 wins.
Pretty good.
If they get 10 wins and he plays like he has been, because
you don't have to use that first round pick on a quarterback. You can just keep adding to the roster at that point. And I feel like you would love that. Maybe you give him a little bit of a contract extension. You're not
nothing major.
Break the bank.
I
just
agree with
enough
that.
to say, hey, you earned it. You earned enough to play here for another 2-3 years.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I'm not saying he's
you
great,
do want to see him be consistent.
That's the big thing about him, consistency. Yep, I agree with that 100%.
We'll see where we go with that.
See, guys, I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater, guys. I will give Giants props, but you guys are still pretenders, okay?
Yeah, you got to let them know where they lie. A pretender for me, I'm going to say it's the winner of the NFC North. Now, I say that because of the simple fact, although I do still feel it is the Vikings who win, it's not like a for sure thing because, yes, they are winning, but I need to see games where they just what's the word I'm trying to say? They just really inflict their
teams they should beat them by a wider margin, not come back and beat the Lions or the Bears.
Exactly. Like you can't hang with us. This is our game. But I can't sit here and say, okay, if it's the Packers, the Packers are going to be good come playoffs, or they're going to go all the way. I feel like the Packers go as the Packers receivers go.
Yeah. I agree with
the
you.
Packers receivers, Lazard, Dobbs, Cobb. If those three are great,
Cobb's your number one right now, honestly, and that's insane because Cobb was awesome. Like 8 years ago.
Like it goes back and forth. Like 1 week it's Lazard, 1 week it's the rookie Dobbs, 1 week it's Cobb. Christian Watson is the next thing since Fuller, and
Yeah.
that's not a good thing. So it's just a lot. It's different. It's different type of football. I know Rodgers has expressed he wants to throw it more, but
no, that's opposite what they should do. They should stick to they lost the game
really
because
should.
Rodgers went out and threw 3 Hail Marys in the third quarter on one drive, 3 and out. It's like your run game, you got 2 really good running backs. You got to be 50-50 on the throwing and rushing to me for that thing to work. Yeah. I thought it was horrible play calling on that one, but the winner of that division, you said Minnesota, I said Green Bay. You got the edge on me right now, and I can't argue it. The only argument I can always have, the only argument I can have on that division, thinking Green Bay is going to win the division, is because of Kirk Cousins. But I don't know.
Whoever gets consistent. If I'll say this, if the Packers receivers show me consistency, I can sit here and tell you, okay, I do think they'll win.
Minnesota has way more talent. Minnesota has way more talent, and Cousins.
I do feel like Minnesota
5 interceptions. He's got to be better. He really does.
I do feel like Minnesota is holding back a little, just a little. I mean, again, as you mentioned, top of the show, it is only a quarter of the season away. You're not trying to show all your cards this early.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Again, they got a good test this week. Well, depending on if the guys are healthy for the Dolphins. Hopefully it's a good test for them.
Fun game.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a fun game. But that's what I have. Like I mentioned, honorable mention was the Bucs. I couldn't really say that they're a pretender or a contender. I just need to kind of see what happens with them.
I got you.
I don't know if did you have another pretender?
I had one more pretender. You guys see this nice jersey I'm wearing, this multi-million-dollar jersey, this beautiful Dallas Cowboy hat. I'm excited for the Cowboys, but as of this moment, as we speak, Dallas is still a pretender. 4-1 record. They beat Cincinnati, which I thought was going to be considered a really good win, but Cincinnati's not who we thought they were. We beat the Giants. I mean, Giants are playing well, but like I said, I still feel they're pretender. We beat the defending champions, the Rams, but they're not who we thought they were as well. Dallas's defense, I mean, no one can argue with how great their defense has been looking. My biggest concern is Dallas's offense, and don't get me wrong, Cooper Rush has been such a blessing for us. I think he puts so much pressure on Dak when he comes back. Dak has to come out and just ball out. But at the end of the day, and this is kind of crazy for me because I think Philly wins I think they're going to have 3 teams that win double digits. I think Cowboys, if you look at their schedule, on a low side, they're going to get 10 wins. On a high side, 12 or 13 wins. If you look at favorable matches up, I think they're going to be in the middle, maybe 11 wins. But I think 3 teams in that division is going to be double digits. And who would have thought the NFC least is back to being the NFC East? But at the end of the day, I think when Dak gets back, because I think eventually you're going to play him. Maybe not this week. I think Philly's going to beat us. I think they throw him back in against the Lions the following week. But Dak has to realize, and Kellen Moore has to realize with Dallas, they're a run-first team. It has to be 50-50. You can't have Dak going out there with this defense throwing the ball 35, 40 times. You need to rush 30, pass 25. I think within the last 4 or 5 years, if they run 45% of the time, they win like 80-something% of their games, or even more than that, if I'm not mistaken. Pollard is awesome. He's our explosive back. I still like Zeke being that tough back. I love the run game. But my thing holding me back as a contender is offense has to match the defense. And I just don't think they're there yet. I'll have to see once Dak gets back if he runs the same offense as Cooper Rush has been. Because I do believe as hard of a time I give Dak, I do believe he could be explosive at times, but he can get careless with the ball when you make him when he's forced to throw the ball 35 times in a game. I just think that's a recipe for disaster. But right now, they're a pretender for me. But I'm excited as a Cowboys fan. After week 1, I didn't expect them to be 4-1. Cooper Rush has been awesome for us, not turning the ball over, and that's what Dak needs to do when he comes back. What do you think about that, Matt?
Yes, sir. No, I'd honestly agree with you there. I definitely keep them in the pretender area until
Micah Parsons is another monster though. Micah Parsons, dude, I love.
Yeah, man, he's. I think Cooper Rush is definitely showing and doing what most backups all around the league wish they could do. Just keep the team in it, keep them afloat, win some games. Don't be the reason you lose.
They're pretenders right
games.
now, though.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. Hey, you guys let us know down in the comments
down below
who you feel are contenders so far this season, or who are your pretenders so far this season. Maybe we didn't mention somebody. Maybe there's a sleeping giant, no pun intended, that is waiting to become a contender. But Sean, everyone and their mother in the NFL is getting injured.
Yes.
Injuries are literally piling up left and right. Some players are maybe being held out of the game for no reason.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, man, about the whole injury plague that is sweeping the league? I guess mainly so much with concussions.
Yeah.
We know, Tua and what happened with him and the Bills, and the fact that he passed, everything showed that he passed, and then to be, I mean, we all saw the graphic. I don't know if you could call it graphic, but I guess it was
pretty graphic. He looked like he was throwing gang signs with his hands.
He was throwing gang signs.
That was wild, but
it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. What are your thoughts on it?
I think the Dolphins really messed it up for the NFL right now. I think everybody's very sensitive to this right now. I mean, you saw what happened to Tampa yesterday. Brady getting tackled. I mean, that should never be called. But I think everybody's so fragile.
Not even for the GOAT. Not even for the GOAT.
Hey, Tom Brady should get every flag, but that was a bad call. I think everybody's sensitive around the NFL, and I do think, in my opinion, I'm not a doctor, I think Dolphins really fumbled the ball. Yeah, I know that was a big game against the Bills, but they should have really. I mean, I think most people will look at that whole film and, a guy doesn't get up and just hold his head and then just fall down. I think they're going to be. I think
some scary stuff.
It is scary stuff. And then the following week, I mean, I'm really hoping Tua can get back here, but man, that looks to me that was back to back concussions.
It did look bad. It really did look bad.
And it was on prime time football. The Cincinnati one, which was. I think
it was scary.
It's a bummer. It is scary. Yeah, no, it's very scary. It's a bummer. It's a bummer that
it was really scary.
We have to worry about that. Tackling quarterbacks, you might get 15 yards to do your job. It's insane. But I think the Miami really fumbled the ball on that one to get a win against the Bills on that one.
It's scary, man, because to see stuff like that from Tua, and you're watching the game. I'm watching the game. You're watching the game, and although the hit doesn't look as bad. Obviously, we're not the ones taking the hit, but it doesn't look as bad. And to just see what he's doing, with his hands, and then fast forward to last Thursday night, the
like a UFC fighter.
Nyheim Hines gets hit. It doesn't look bad.
No,
but
took him out.
He gets up and he's literally falling several times.
Scary, man.
It's scary. But I will say that to say this. The NFL is pushing an agenda.
They are.
Sadly, because as you mentioned, the game was a prime time game. America's watching.
Yeah.
This is a business at the end of the day that we have to realize. The NFL, unfortunately, does not necessarily really, I hate to say it, but care about, player safety like that. But they are thinking long-term Little Johnny that's watching the game at age 10 who wants to become an NFL player sees that. His mom sees that.
They don't
Oh,
want him
you're
to
not
play
playing
football.
football
Yeah, you're
because
going baseball, buddy.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. You're not playing this sport because of this. The NFL knows that. So that's why they're pushing this. Oh, that player fell. Teddy B fell. Didn't even look that well.
That
That
was
great as
strange.
far as
That was
like
a strange one to me. Yeah, that was a strange one.
yeah, it
But
didn't
like I
even look
said,
like it hurt. I mean, they had like an elbow head thing. He
yeah,
passed
that
every
was,
test. Doesn't
and
come
they
back in the
still took
game.
him out. Yeah, that was wild.
So
They
I
do have
think
an
at least for
agenda, though.
now,
Yeah,
yeah, at least for now, it's going to be a little touchy.
yeah.
It is sad because I do feel that going forward, if Tua falls, whatever the case is, hits his head, hits his elbow, his pinky, they are literally going to pull him from the game.
Yeah.
Hopefully he will come back in that game, but this is going to be tied with him going forward. And it
definitely
sucks.
the rest of the season. Yeah, definitely the rest of the season. He's going to be.
It just sucks.
I mean, I don't even like. Do we know if how he's even doing? Do they even say he has
supposed
a
to be doing
date?
better?
I mean,
yeah, I haven't really heard of a return date. Me personally, I hope it's this week.
Man, looked like he got punched by Mike Tyson, man. Like,
yeah, we'll see.
Insane.
We'll see how it happens, what happens with it. But yeah,
I'm hoping he returns this week. That'd be nice. I want to see him come back and ball out.
Same, man, because they were looking good.
They were
Dolphins were really looking good, especially these last two games.
Man.
You think they have a chance to win both. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But you guys let us know down in the comments too. How you're feeling about the whole injury thing and our teams being too much. Are they playing it just right? Again, it is scary stuff. Here at Regular Guys Podcast, we are not going to downplay the fact of a concussion.
No.
I know a friend personally who had a concussion, and it was not pretty. He was not there throwing up gang signs like Tua, but it was bad.
Don't make me laugh at this, man. Don't make me laugh at such a serious injury. That dude was throwing up. I think he was part of the Bloods. I don't know.
Bro, yeah, that
was wild, dude.
It was bad, man. It was bad. But
don't make me laugh. That's messed up. Hey, everybody, comment below on how messed up that was. Matt did that. Start laughing.
It was bad, man.
No. I'm just playing.
You guys let us know. But hey, week 5 has come and gone, Sean.
Yes.
What is your game of the week? Give the people something to look forward to for week 6. So many good games.
Does it have to be one?
Had to choose one.
Does it have to be one?
You got one ticket. All right, Sean, one ticket. You're sitting literally on the field. What game are you going to?
I'm gonna. It's a corn flip for me because everybody knows I'm a Cowboy fan. So Cowboys, Eagles, Sunday Night Football. But I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I think a lot of people are gonna be excited for this one. I'm very excited for this one. I think the two favorites in the AFC are colliding for the game of the week: the Bills versus Chiefs. So I'm excited to see the Mahomes and Allen battle. I want to see if Allen can finally get his revenge at Mahomes. It's going to be a fun one. It's in Kansas City. So I'm going to say that's going to be the game to look most forward to. Two powerhouses is going at it. So that should be exciting. What about you, Matt? What do you got?
Mine is a little bit of a coin flip too. So before this whole concussion thing and the Dolphins getting hurt, obviously I will be at this game this week. The Vikings and Dolphins were headed towards a heavyweight collision.
Really were. They really were.
Both were looking good. And it was like, man, I can't wait. Justin Jefferson versus Xavier Howard. It's going to be a show. And now with the Vikings maybe not looking the part, as we mentioned in our Contender.
They're winning though. They are winning though. So I mean, they're still a fun team to watch. They're a fun team.
Yeah.
I'm not a Viking. I always give Kirk Cousins a hard time, but they're a fun team to watch. They really are. They got a lot of good weapons like Jefferson, Cook, and when Cousins is on, he's awesome. So I mean, it's an exciting team to watch.
We'll see where the injury report lies. If Tua and Hill and them can come back. It's not confirmed, but he did leave the game in a boot.
Oh
So
man,
that's
injuries. Why do injuries have to happen?
they're hurting, man, at the worst time. I wouldn't say at the worst time. I guess it's still early in the season.
But you're going to the
So I would
game, so
say,
it's like, you were gonna
yeah,
go
I'm going to
to
the game. I don't want to
powerhouse
see,
teams.
yeah, I don't want to see Kirk versus third stringer or Kirk
Yeah.
versus Teddy B. I want to see Kirk versus Tua, Xavier Howard versus
Yeah, that. Oh man,
Justin Jefferson.
I just don't know if Tua is going to come back right now. They're so
I don't
sensitive
know.
right now, but
Yeah, we'll see.
their
But that's
chances are slowly but surely
yeah.
dripping away on this
I'm gonna use
momentum.
that as my game of the week, just because of
Yeah,
the simple fact I'll be there. If I had to use a honorable mention, I don't want to state the obvious, the Chiefs, Bills. I'm gonna
how
say
about the
the honorable mention would be Eagles, Cowboys.
how about them
I'd give them
Cowboys?
I give them that one, especially in Philly on a Sunday night.
Yeah,
That would be a nice, pretty cool game to go to.
yeah.
As long as you're not a Cowboys fan talking reckless to
That
Philly
I'm not
fans
talking. I'm
in
not talking
Philly.
reckless. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna get
yeah.
Philly. I don't go to
If
games
you
in
want to go
Philadelphia.
home, yeah. If
No,
you want to
no.
go home, do not do that. So,
Yeah, no.
but you guys let us know what's your game of
Let
the
us know.
week for week 6. Moving on to our last and final, the hype. Sean, let the people know what you're hyped for, man.
I'm very hyped for this weekend. Football, of course. I mean, like you said, I'm hyped for the Dallas Cowboys Eagles game. I mean, I try not to get too excited when good things happen to the Cowboys because everybody knows the Cowboys will look amazing one week and then just look so bad that you have to quit on them in week 2 like I did. But I'm excited that they're playing better. I was excited for this year to watch football, and I was so down the first week that I was like, man, my football season is just kind of over. Of
Over
course, I like to
before it
watch.
started.
Yeah, I kind of was. I like to watch all the games. Don't get me wrong, but you get this excitement. If you're a football fan, you get this excitement about your team when you think they're going to be pretty good, at least pretty good. But I'm back being excited about the Cowboys. I'm excited how football's going. Besides the whole concussion and injuries, but yeah, I'm just excited for the Cowboys next week, and we'll see
What
what
happens?
we need to do better and where we're at. Because if we can pull that win out, I think people are going to start taking us a little bit serious. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, I am not excited for Colts football. I was actually a little bit mad that we won on Thursday night.
Yeah, you did text me that.
I'm still hashtag fire Frank Reich. I am not
Yeah.
going to waver off of that. But Mr. Stephon Gilmore, the guy right behind me, had other plans. Hey, high five.
Cool,
What I'm hyped for, I'm hyped for as I mentioned, if you didn't know, I will be at the Vikings Dolphins game.
Awesome.
I'm not a fan of either. So yes, if you are there, I am wearing this jersey to your game.
Don't do
I'm
it.
not
Don't be
wearing a
that guy.
Dolphins. I'm
Don't be
not
that
wearing a Dolphins
guy.
jersey. I am not putting on a Vikings jersey.
Don't be
I'm
that
wearing
guy.
my Colts jersey
Oh
to that game.
man.
I'm going to be that guy, but it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
Tailgating and whatnot. Spend the weekend in Miami, so we're looking forward to it. Should be a good time. Hopefully we can get a good show up there in Miami or down there in Miami.
Yeah.
But
Be fun.
hey, you guys, we thank you guys so much. Sorry for not having a pod last week. If you're here in Florida, you know Hurricane Ian came by, and there's a little bit of a
Ian is a
disaster.
jerk off. Ian's a jerk, man. We gotta really actually not to cut you off, but we gotta give our prayers to everybody down south. We're missing a member here because of the hurricane. A lot of people are going through some hard times, so keep them in your prayers. We miss you, Jacob. Can't wait to have you back, buddy.
Yeah, man. But that's going to do it for us. As we say each and every show, we thank you guys so much for tuning in with us on this Wednesday. Your love and support for the show, helping us grow each and every week is truly, truly tremendous. Let us know what are some things we can improve on. We're always open to criticism. We'll always try things a couple times just to see if they work. But other than that, as from myself, I appreciate you guys for listening. Again, 100 subscribers is well underway. Make sure you like, subscribe, And I'll tell Fran, Sean, you got anything to say before we close out?
No, thank you guys. Like and subscribe, like Maddie said, man.
Yeah, man. And if my boy Jake was here, he'd hit you with the
Peace.
You are now listening to Regular Guys Podcast.